What's up, heroes? My name is Clone, and welcome back to Crystalline. I'm just going to continue right on through this game. Let's see what adventure awaits us today. Gone to sleep in Meadow Hill. I don't know what's going to happen here. This music's great, though. Kind of gets us a wrap-up for the end of the day. A knock on my door jolts me awake. I sit straight up in the bed and barely notice a tiny yelp as the pongo tumbles to the floor. Oh no, not the little guy. Hello? Still half asleep, and I figured that just... Hello? The knocking stops.
It's Leanna. Are you about ready?
No. I rub my eyes and blink at the feeble rays of light outside. What time is it?
It's past dawn. We need to get a move on if we want to make a good time.
You're really perky for past dawn. Why are you waking me up so early? Dawn? There's no good reason anyone should be awake at this hour. I attempt to lay back down in my bed when the knocking starts again. All right. I'll be there in a minute. The noise stops. I yawn and stretch, then notice the pongo on the floor. What are you doing on the floor, buddy? Weren't you sleeping on the bed? The pongo wiggles and shoots me an accusatory look. I'm going to assume that means you knocked me off, you dickhole. I glance at the slight indentation on my pillow and back at the blue mass on the floor. Sorry, I didn't mean to knock you off. He looks cautiously at me, then hops onto the bed and up onto my head. Yeah, he forgives me. We're just going to keep going with the day. He's not going to care. He nips at my hair and then jiggles. I guess that means he's forgiven me? I push myself to my feet and begin to get dressed. Once I've grabbed all of my things, I push open the door and nearly collide with Leanna again. Whoa!
Are you ready to go?
I guess so. Are we going to get breakfast first and coffee? Yeah. Leanna nods, then leads the way out of the inn. She's really bright and perky for early in the morning. I follow her through town as we head north. It's a lot quieter than when we first arrived as the town gradually begins to wake up. We don't run into too many people on the street. Although the shops aren't open yet, I can see the shopkeepers busy prepping for the day. Right before we reach the edge of town, a guard stops us. What did we do now?
There's been heightened bandit activity reported on these roads.
Well, it's a good thing I got that sword. Leanna's brows crease.
Are the roads closed?
That's a good question.
No, but until we get a handle on the bandit activity, we're advising everyone to stay in town.
So you're saying it's heightened, you're just giving us a warning. We could still go through if we really want to.
We can't stay.
Then let's go.
Where are you headed?
We're headed to Illumia.
The guard notices the sigil on Leanna's manipulator.
You're a Mage-Knight?
What's a Mage-Knight? She nods. As the guard turns his focus to me, I draw attention to the blade on my hip. He nods gruffly, then moves out of the way. So I'm going to just assume right away a Mage-Knight is someone that uses magic and is also a knight.
Just be careful out there.
Thank you.
Thank you. She motions for me to follow her. It's nice that they're warning us to be careful out there. Once we're back on the familiar dirt path, I take one last look at Meadow Hill Village before refocusing on the road ahead of me. It's a beautiful day. Our trek along the path is peaceful. The forest gradually awakens with birdsong and the scuttling of woodland animals. Having grown up in the city, the sounds of nature still startle me, and I glance at every rustle in the leaves. You coward. Leanna, though, seems unfazed. Her eyes routinely survey her surroundings while checking to see what's going on around her, and she does this all the time. She lives in this world where we don't. Suddenly, she freezes. I nearly bump into her. What the?
Shh.
Okay, fine. What are we shushing for? I fall silent as she listens. When she speaks, her voice is a whisper.
Did you hear that?
No, because I'm dumb. I strain my ears, listening for anything out of place. Then I hear the voices among the trees. Bandits. Well, that's terrifying. A strangled scream pierces the air, scaring a flock of birds into flight.
Someone might be in danger.
Yes, they do. They might be. Her previous caution abandoned, Leanna sprints towards the sound, and I follow her at her heels. Well, there's the knight there. Gotta help anybody. And I'm just along for the ride. We both take cover as the trees open up, revealing a man in a trench coat surrounded by 5 bandits. One more bandit lies motionless on the ground, so he took down one of the 6. Upon seeing their fallen comrade, the bandits all unsheath their weapons. 3 of them hold long swords and 2 of them point guns. The trenchcoat man doesn't stir. His dark hair falls over his eyes and I can't see his face. Ergo, he's a badass.
He won't get away from us this time.
I'm pretty sure he's going to.
Take him out.
The man pushes open his coat and draws 2 guns as the bandits converge. Leanna sets her jaw.
Stay here.
I don't want to, though. As soon as the words fall from her lips, she races out from the trees. Her hair whips behind her, and her white coat tails billow in a graceful arc. She moves faster than any human, as if the air is pushing her forward instead of dragging her down. Might she be using her magic? Her gauntlet hand clenches, and a blue sphere glows, then disappears as she smashes her fist into the nearest bandit. That's gotta hurt. He flies away from her and crashes against the tree before crumpling into a heap. I think he might be dead.
A Mage-Knight?
Yeah, you're in trouble now, Bandit 2.
She must be with him.
Or she's after the bounty. Take her out too.
So I'm guessing this guy is got a bounty on his head, and these guys are just wanting to cash in on it. The mysterious man fires a hail of purple blasts at the bandits, catching one of them in the chest. Leanna deflects the sword from another bandit with her own blade. I can't just sit here and do nothing. I have to help. Ignoring Leanna's command, I unsheath my sword and charge into battle. Yeah, we're not going to sit here. Siler, don't sit back and do nothing. Early access version. Minigame will be available in the future. Okay. That'd be interesting to see. I wonder if they're going to take the lines of what they did in Ace Academy originally, where some of the games were like DDR based, where now and then as they advanced, they became a reaction time click a selection. So I'll be interested to see what they're going to do. Let me know what you think they might do with it in the comments down below. Win my fight. Duh. Leanna breathes heavily as she surveys the bodies around her. She glances at me and the stranger, who's still standing.
Anyone hurt?
No. I do a gentle pat down on myself and wince at my bruises. Nothing major. He bruised already? Oh. Such a delicate boy. Bruising already. Leanna nods, then she fidgets with her manipulator. It's not a fidget spinner. The man stays silent as he inspects his guns. Okay. Very close to the image here. I like the trench coat design. The red, it brings it out real nice. Now that I have a better look at him, I realize that although his fierce scowl makes him seem tough, he doesn't look that much older than me. His hair has a habit of falling around his eyes, but as he pushes it back, I notice a long scar cut across one eye. Once satisfied, he tucks his gun back into his belt and gets to his feet. He nods at us.
Thanks.
Zack Spade, you're welcome. Then he turns away. Man of many words, it seems.
Wait!
He pauses.
Where are you headed?
Why?
Because we want to make sure you're okay because you were just assaulted by 6 people, dude.
There might be more bandits around. We should team up if we're going in the same direction. Safety in numbers.
She is thinking rather smart and on her feet. He studies us in a stony silence. Then his gaze flicks to her manipulator and he relaxes slightly. I guess this Mage-Knight thing is really something to be taken seriously around here. Because even the bandits made a mention of it and that guard earlier as we left Meadow Hill Village.
Where are you going?
We're headed to Illumia.
Me too.
Well, that's an odd coincidence. We're all headed towards Illumia. Leanna nods.
You're from the Mage Guild?
Yes, I'm Leanna.
Okay, so there's a guild, or is just the Mage-Knight a group, or is it a title? I don't know. I'm Siler.
Zack.
Nice to meet you.
Boy.
And then you. All of us glance at the little blue Pongo who seemingly popped out of nowhere. Where does he go? I want to know where he is when all this action's going on. And, this is our little friend.
I see.
That's all? He's adorable. He's probably sitting on my head.
Boy!
The Pongo blinks at Zack, who stares him down. The Pongo bounces uncertainly.
Boy?
Yeah, I get that vibe a little bit too, but I think he's just trying to act tough. Zack's unblinking stare never wavers, so the Pongo scoots behind my leg for safety. Oh, he's on the ground.
Now that introductions are over, let's get moving.
Yeah, fair enough. Zack waits for us to collect our things, and once we're all set, we head back onto the road. Leanna and I lead the way, the Pongo keeping pace with us, while Zack hangs a few steps behind us, probably just brooding in silence. Well, not necessarily brooding, probably more of just sitting in silence, not sure what's going on. Ask about his weapon. Well, first, how did she move so fast? Leanna, I saw you during the fight. How are you able to move so fast?
Oh, I cast wind magic to manipulate my movements.
There we go. That makes sense. Oh, so like putting on a speed buff.
They're small adjustments, like shifting the draft to move me forward, or using a breeze to help lift me during jumps.
Okay, makes sense to me at least. Damn, that sounds awesome. She grins.
The next time you're lagging behind, I'll use my wind to give you a little boost.
Chances are that's going to happen in about an hour. I'm sure our legs are still tired. That would be amazing. I can already imagine myself running like the wind. Leanna seems pleased by my reaction. What about Zack's weapon? Because that was a gun. We saw them in the shop when we were getting our sword, but we've not actually seen them in combat. And bullets aren't necessarily purple. So ask about Zack's weapon. Then, if we get the chance, we'll ask how he knew she was in the Mage Guild. So, what type of gun is Zack carrying?
You mean his discharger?
Is what now? What's a discharger? I hear a sound behind us. Zack raises an eyebrow when I turn to look at him.
Did you hit your head or something?
Maybe once or twice? Leanna looks a little uncomfortable. I could see my situation in this is a little awkward, because I'm definitely not from around here, and I'm not from this world, so this is all new to me, and you don't want to necessarily tell a lot of people, especially a stranger we just met.
He's not exactly from around here.
That's the light way of putting it. Zack crosses his arms.
I see.
No, maybe. He seems like a smart guy. There's a pause. So, a discharger.
It's a weapon that uses crystal spheres to power it.
Okay. So it is a gun.
Maybe?
But I don't think we're going to explain to her how a gun works, though. The spheres are the bullets. Well, it's kind of the magazine in some sense, because it's used to fire bullets. Or in this case, bolts of energy. Leanna looks uncertain. Although it made sense in my head, I can see why she might be confused. Never mind. I got it. Thanks.
Sure.
She smiles. I feel Zack's gaze on me, but his expression is hard to read because it's just a blank stare. And now ask how he knew she was in the Mage Guild. How did Zack know you're in the Mage Guild?
He saw my emblem.
Is that the thing that's on the gauntlet? She lifts up her arm and points to the sigil on her manipulator. Yes, it is. What exactly does the Mage Guild do?
We investigate any type of magical anomaly. The Mage Guild in Havengard is actually headquartered in Illumia.
Okay. Sort of like a police force? Leanna furrows her brow.
Police?
Stop using terms that she's not understanding. Like how detectives go out into the field to solve mysteries.
A little like that.
Which is why she found us. Now it makes sense as to why both the guard in Meadow Hill Village and Zack relaxed after seeing Leanna's emblem. Probably it's some level of authority, or respect or honor. Well, it looks like that guard was telling the truth. There definitely are bandits on this road.
Yeah.
It's a little unsettling. There's something in her voice which makes me think she doesn't completely agree. What is it?
It's just, well, For bandits, they were pretty well equipped.
But if they're having heightened activity, they might have had a good raid, which would explain why they have such good equipment. She stares hard at Zack, but he doesn't react. Of course he wouldn't. Why would he? He's the strong, silent type, mostly. What does that mean? Are they not bandits? Leanna continues to look at Zack.
I'm not sure.
But...
They were bandits.
Thank you for the clarification. She looks sharply at Zack, obviously caught off guard.
Sure.
That didn't sound too convincing. I'm assuming she thought he was the bandit. The subject drops, but I still feel a little uneasy. If those guys weren't bandits, then who were they? And why were they attacking Zack? So many questions on top of the questions we already have from what the hell are we doing here? The questions circle my mind as the conversation lulls to silence, and we continue to enjoy our journey. Leanna leads the way through, though she seems to have something on her mind. Well, probably why the bandits were well equipped. Zack trails from behind. He remains on heightened alert. Well, yeah, you just got attacked by 6 guys. I would be too. We travel together for quite some time with no further interruptions. I can feel my legs start to burn from all the walking. Leanna, I need you to use that magic spell to help me keep up. Leanna squints at the sky.
We should make camp before it gets dark.
Probably a good idea. Zack nods.
There's a good spot up ahead which hides us from view. It'll still give us visibility on any intruders, though.
Very, very good. You sound like you've known this area. You know this area very well. Sounds good. At least he's well familiar with the terrain. I'm sure they've made this trip more than once anyways. Zack leads the way, and soon we reach the clearing. The 3 of us get to work setting up camp. I roll out my bedroll near the campfire and notice how thinly it spreads on the ground. Can this thing really be comfortable? I guess there's only one way to find out. Well, sleeping on the ground's never really comfortable. I'd prefer a bed myself. I lie down on the bedroll and place my hands behind my head. This isn't as bad as I thought. A yawn escapes my lips. I could definitely fall asleep here. Oh, that is a gorgeous night sky. My gaze lingers on the night sky above. The moon hangs in the inky sky, dotted with so many pinpricks of silver light. They sparkle vividly, as if trying to chase away the dark. That's just a gorgeous view right there. That's just part of being away from the city, away from all the lights, all the sounds, and just to enjoy nature. I breathe out a breath in wonder. I never knew that the stars could shine so brightly. I try to pick out a few constellations, but the star patterns above are unfamiliar. Duh, different world, and I could see why the character's surprised. He is from New York, as they said, so the chance to see the night sky like that, I would imagine, would be very rare.
What are you looking at?
You, now. I quickly sit up at the sound of Leanna's voice. She holds 2 steaming bowls in her hand. I accept one of the bowls with a smile as she sits beside me. Just admiring the sky. This place is really beautiful. Back where I live, you don't get to see too many stars.
How come?
Light pollution. Our cities are filled with so much light that it drowns out the stars. Leanna gazes thoughtfully at the sky.
Right. It's a little harder to see the stars in town than it is out here.
I don't think it's anywhere near as bad as what it is for our character. I shake my head. It's not the same. Some nights I don't see the stars at all. Her eyes widen in surprise. Then she places her chin in her hands. Well, probably because she's never thought of that much light and never thought of how great looking up at the night sky is. Just figured it's something you do and never imagined what life would be like without being able to see the stars.
A night sky without stars.
She looks at me.
What's your world like?
It has really cool tech. Well, yeah, it does. It's bad. Humans are a plague to the planet. Different, but more or less the same. Well, it has seemed very similar. We've got stuff that's written in common or English or common in this world. There are shops, there are people, there are weapons, inns, food. You know, it's different, but more or less the same. We just don't use magic. It's kind of like here, but kind of different. She stares at me, waiting for me to elaborate. We don't use crystals or have magic, and we definitely don't have pongos. I glance at the pongo snoozing beside me. Leanna smiles at his soft snores. I bet that's adorable. But we do have forests and towns. We speak languages and have our own versions of academies and shops and guilds. We also have weapons and martial arts.
Like Kendo.
Exactly. Yep.
That sounds like it'd be an interesting place to visit. I wonder what it's like to live in a world with no crystals.
It would be such a shock to you. She tilts her head back and returns her gaze to the sky. Underneath the moonlight, her pale skin seems to glow amidst the stars. There we go. There's the romance option right away. But that's a surprising thing. She's pale. You would think for someone who is, I assume, is out wandering around because she's used to this journey that we're on, she'd have at least a little bit of sun. Have a little bit of a tan, I mean. Her face softens as she smiles.
You're right. The stars really are beautiful.
As are you. We fall into a comfortable silence as we enjoy the tranquility of the night. After we've finished eating and cleaning up, Zach approaches us.
It's getting late.
Yeah, you're probably right. Leanna nods.
I'll take first watch so you can rest.
Oh, we're gonna take turns keeping guard or something?
All right. I'll take second watch.
And I'll take third. I guess that just leaves me with third. Zach stares unblinkingly at me. Oh, they both... I like that animation. They both went from looking at each other to looking at me. Zach stares unblinkingly at me, while Leanna coughs nervously. What, do you not trust that Siler can keep watch?
That's okay. We had an early start, and I'm sure you're tired. We should rest up and sleep through the night.
Right, but if third shift's gonna be approaching dawn, it depends on when you wake me up. I should be okay. She's right, I'll do that. Whatever. Do you guys not trust me? Oh, do you guys not trust me? It almost sounds like you guys don't trust me. Although I try to keep my tone light and joking, Leanna looks guilty.
No, that's not. I mean, it's not that we don't trust.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna take his brutal honesty. She looks sharply at Zach. His arms are crossed, but his expression doesn't change. Seriously? Zach nods towards Leanna.
She's part of the Mage Guild, so I know she won't pull any tricks. I don't know anything about you.
I don't know anything about you. How can I trust that you're gonna stay watch? Though I get his concern. Just, I'm with her. That's all he knows.
I'm sorry.
Don't be. I can get it. As the fire in my mind abates, I realize Zach has a point. I've given him no real reason to trust me. If I were in his shoes, I'd be just as cautious. Fair enough. I nod. All right. I suppose that's fair.
I better get to sleep then. Good night.
Good night. Zach nods. Leanna flashes me one last smile before crawling into her bedroll. I can't stay mad at you, especially when she does that. As she lies down, Zach positions himself against a tree and takes a seat. You know what? Let's try to get to know Zach, see if we can build that trust real quick. Rather than just go to bed. If we're going to be traveling together, I should make an effort to get to know what kind of person he is. I walk over to Zach, especially since he doesn't trust us, and we know that for sure now. Hey. Mind if I sit? He gestures for me to join him. So I do so. Oh, that's interesting. Silent, but still saying, you know what, I don't care. Sit down if you want. It's your choice to not go to bed. And of course we're going to sit here in silence. Obviously, I'll have to lead the conversation. Why is he surprised by that? So, how's the weather? Smooth start there. Zach stares at me. All right, let's switch gears. Are you a cat or a dog person? Slightly better question.
Is this going anywhere?
Yes. Don't look so unamused. I sigh. I'm trying to build up some trust here, but you gotta meet me halfway. Zach looks away. Great. Guess he doesn't want to talk.
Dog.
Hebede? What?
I prefer canines.
He's a dog person. I knew it. Oh, cool. The silence creeps in again. So, we're all going to Illumia?
Yep,
Come on, dude. What brings you there?
I'm meeting someone.
Ah, someone important? Someone close to you? Elaborate. Oh, a friend?
Someone from work.
Okay. What do you do?
I'm a mercenary.
Oh, that's so cool. No wonder why he's so stone cold and quiet. Mercenary? That's badass. This explains so much. Ah, acceptable murder. Actually, you know, this explains so much. It all makes sense now.
What does?
Everything about you. The angst, the hard-boiled exterior, the frequent cold shoulder. You're totally the brooding main character from one of my JRPGs. Oh, he's saying the weird stuff again.
What are you talking about?
Weird things. He stares at me and I smirk. That's exactly how one of those MCs would react.
So, why are you going to Illumia?
Just brushes off the question. I don't know what crap you're talking about, but moving on. Leanna's taking me to the Mage Academy. He studies me again.
Are you a mage? You don't have a manipulator.
I shake my head. No, I'm looking for answers. He nods in understanding, and doesn't pry. Although I try to stop it, a yawn escapes.
You should get some sleep. We have an early start in the morning.
Yeah, very true. That sounds familiar. I push myself to standing. Good night. He nods. I lie down in my bedroll and scooch around to get comfortable. I try closing my eyes to sleep, but something still doesn't feel right. Oh yeah! I need a pillow. Where are we gonna find a pillow out here? Spoiled. Sitting up, I look around for anything I can use. My gaze falls on the Pongo, who now rests beside Leanna. We are not using the Pongo as a pillow. I'll just make do without. I'd rather not use the Pongo as a pillow. He's not gonna like that too much. The little Pongo rolls over in his sleep. I don't want to disturb him. Plus, that would be pretty rude. It's bad enough we started talking about JRPGs with the Mercenary, who's just going to give us the cold shoulder all the time. I don't find anything else suitable and decide just to make do without one. Lying back down on the bed, I close my eyes and eventually drift to sleep. I guess that music is the end of the day. I like that touch because we had that at the very end of our first night. A dull throbbing in my back pulls me awake. I hadn't fully appreciated the magic of mattresses until now. A yawn escapes and I stretch widely. Aside from the achiness, I actually feel well rested. I sit up and glance around. Zach leans against a tree with his head down. His hair covers his eyes, so I can't tell if they're open or closed. Chances are it's the same tree that he was sitting watch on. Regardless, his hand rests on the handle of his dischargers. Creepy. Well, creepy, yet at the same time, very understandable. As a mercenary, he's probably used to that, so if anything stirs him awake and he's probably a light sleeper, he can just pull up and bam, ready to go. Looking around again, I failed to spot Leanna. Where did she go? I think I hear a cry in the distance. Is that her? I should go investigate, especially if she's crying. We need to stop that now. Crossing over a hill, I see Leanna practicing in an open field. She grips her blade in a fighting stance, her face stern with concentration. Nice. She swings her blade in a high arc, ending with a graceful spin. Judging by how fluid and accurate her movement is, it's clear she's dedicated many years to perfecting her craft. I would hope so if she's a Mage-Knight. Her hair whips around her as she turns, but never seems to blow in her face. More magic. Even with heavy armor, her movements are still nimble, as if she's wearing no armor at all. I wonder if that has to do with her wind magic. Once she notices me, she lowers her sword.
Oh, sorry. Did I wake you? I moved out here so I wouldn't disturb you.
No, I was watching in wonder and bewilderment. No, I was already up. I didn't see you at camp, so I came looking.
Gotcha.
You're up too, Pongo. You're on the floor again. Glancing down at my feet, I spot the beaming Pongo. Leanna giggles.
Looks like you guys are best friends already.
Already, we were best friends when we met. Well, except for my character's end, but whatever. Of course. The best of friends, isn't that right? The Pongo nods excitedly.
Poi poi.
Yeah, he gets it, best friends. It's pretty early. Do you always begin your mornings with a warm-up? Leanna nods.
It helps me wake up and prepare for the day ahead.
You know, I just prefer my cup of coffee after just kind of staring, I hate the world, give me coffee or I kill everybody.
Also, it's become a part of my routine, so it just doesn't feel right when I don't do it.
Yeah, something will feel off, I get that. I know what you mean. I really can't go through my morning routine from Earth here on Terra, and it feels a bit strange.
Right.
Oh, don't look so disappointed, it'll be fine. Leanna looks down. The awkwardness creeps into silence. She probably took that in a negative way, which wasn't my intention. That's okay, though. I can always make a new routine.
New routine?
Yeah, why not? I'm gonna probably be here for a little while, so let's make a new routine. I unsheath my blade and grip it. This morning practice you do seem... Hold on. I can read. This morning practice you do seems like a good place to start. Wow, can I read? She grins.
Considering how well you handled yourself yesterday, I'm curious to see what's the extent of your skill set.
Oh yeah, test me out. Let's go. I smirk. Only one way to find out. So what's the lesson today, Senpai?
Sand pie?
No, stop saying weird things, dude. I shake my head. Never mind. She blinks, then refocuses and matches my fighting stance by raising her sword.
Since you already have some experience with the blade, sparring will be the best way to gauge your skills.
Of course. Just jump right into it. I'm ready. I tighten the grip on my blade. Ready when you are.
Here I come!
Let's go. Leanna dashes towards me. Her movements seem slower than what they were during the bandit fight because she's not using her wind magic to take it easy on us. It seems like she isn't using her wind magic. Very astute of you. Early access version, the minigame will be available in the future. Well, that'll be interesting to see, though. Probably more along the same lines as the fight. Probably some quick time of dodge, block, parry, attack, take the hit, fall. You know, we'll do well. Of course we're going to do well. Why would we do poorly? Somehow I managed to keep pace with her. Every time I think I'm about to get the upper hand, her intensity increases until we're equally matched again. Even so, I could feel her holding back. Without using magic, Mage-Knights are still a formidable opponent with the sword. Especially if they're anything like Leanna. Well, there's a knight in the title. Knights are typically good with weapons. We go back and forth with a few more swings until Leanna strikes from above. I hurriedly block with my sword, but lose my balance in my hurry and topple to the ground, landing on my back. Oof. Leanna kneels down beside me.
Your fundamentals are solid. If you keep practicing, I'm sure you'll be a formidable warrior in no time.
Which means I'm not formidable now. And that makes me upset. That's pretty high praise when it's coming from you. She smiles and blushes. And I like that hand movement with the animation. Leanna extends a hand and helps me back to my feet.
It would be better if I could watch you spar with someone else. That way, I can see your movement from different angles and give you better feedback.
Well, we could do that when we get to Illumia. Unless the Pongo can use a sword, the only other option is Zack. I look around and spot Zack leaning against a tree closer to our sparring location. He watches us with his arms crossed. Wait, how long has he been here? That's a very good question. He's probably been watching for a long time. Leanna rushes over to him.
Zack!
Of course, we're going to have Zack to help us out now. This is going to be interesting.
Would you be willing to duel with him?
Yeah, will you? Fight me. She points to me. Now, who else is she going to point to? The Pongo?
I'd like to get a better look at his technique.
He merely stares at her.
Oh, right. You need a blade.
Yeah, because he's got his discharger. Leanna hands her blade to Zack. He takes it from her and inspects it.
What are the rules of the duel?
Yeah, what are the rules? That's probably a good thing to lay out.
Standard spar. Be the first one to knock your opponent to the ground.
Easy enough. Zack nods and heads towards the field. As Leanna returns to me, we share a glance. That was surprisingly easy. I'm not surprised. He's a mercenary. He probably wants to train and get better. Or he just wants to show off and kick my ass. Either way, I guess it's not in a mercenary's nature to back down from a fight, even if it's a fake one.
Are you two ready?
I think so. I step a decent distance away from Zack and ready my blade. Yep. Zack continues to stand there. I look at Leanna again and she just shrugs. I'm sure my reaction is, He nods. There we go, some acknowledgement.
Okay, begin.
I rush forward. God, he shot me. I bet he shot me. And suddenly, I'm on the ground, staring up at the sky with an aching pain in my chest and the wind knocked out of me. I groan. Oh, ow.
Strange. I thought he'd last at least 2 shots.
Thanks, jerk.
Zack!
What?
Why did you use your discharger?
She technically didn't specify why he couldn't.
Why not?
He gets a point. Leanna steps forward.
The whole point was to have a sword match with him.
You didn't list that as a rule.
He has a point, though. Her frustration is evident in her voice.
Why else would I give you my sword?
Why did you give me your sword?
He's not really helping much, but this is kind of comical.
For you to use!
Or just for aesthetics, I don't know. That hurt. She snatches her blade back from Zack and heads over to me.
Are you hurt?
No, just my pride, and I'm used to that being hurt. My pride. I like that that's an option. So this is what it feels like to be emasculated. Twice. My gaze drifts past Leanna to the blue sky behind her. At least the view is nice. Leanna helps me up again.
The one and only lesson you need to know when fighting. Do whatever it takes to win.
I guess I could see that. As soon as he's done speaking, Zack turns around and heads back toward the campsite. Okay, here's my one thing with that. Not all fights are there to win, and there are some certain rules that you have to follow. If it's a fight to the death, yeah, you do whatever it takes to win, but in something like this, you kind of follow it and just do it. That sounds just like what the angsty, badass MC of a JRPG would say. My suspicions were correct all along. Oh, I like that option from earlier is showing up now. Leanna huffs.
Mercenaries can be so annoying sometimes.
I can see why. Agreed. He's probably seen some heavy stuff. His advice is relevant. He's probably seen some heavy stuff. It sounds like he's got that scar across his eye. Agreed. He's been a little annoying, but, he's probably seen some heavy stuff. Get on his side a little bit. Mercenaries take on all sorts of jobs, including some really unsavory types. That probably influences their battle ethics and code for survival to be more brutal than others. Leanna ponders my words.
That's true.
There we go. Make you rethink that. We pack up our things and clean up the campsite. Then we continue our journey. As we walk, we slipped into a comfortable silence. Zack lingers behind Leanna and I while the Pongo returns to his usual spot on top of my head. After a few hours, it doesn't feel like we're getting any closer. You also have no idea where we're going. So, how long until we reach Illumia?
We'll need to stop at Raven Pass to restock and spend the night. But if we continue to make good time, we'll reach Illumia by midday tomorrow.
Oh, that's not too far, considering we're probably walking at 5 miles an hour, something like that. I don't know, the math's hard. But Raven Pass, huh? When are we going to get there? What time of day is it, really? She said by night. One more day of walking. If only I had brought my bit fit, I would have my daily steps done for a lifetime. Of course, make the references to our world. I nod, and we fall back into silence. By mid-afternoon, we arrive at the gates of a settlement even smaller than Meadow Hill Village. Is this Raven Pass? Oh, this is a cool-looking town. The town consists of an inn and a few shops. The bare essentials. They probably only ever see travelers like us, people passing through on their way to Illumia.
Okay, we should stock up on supplies.
What are we going to need?
I'll be making a stop at the weaponsmith.
Okay, why? Zack pats the 2 holstered discharges by his side. Now that I think about it, I only saw him use one during the bandit ambush. The other one must have already been damaged? Or something happened to the crystal, maybe? Because it uses crystals as the chamber.
I'll check out the shop since my weapons are okay on repairs.
Is mine okay? I'll go with you. Leanna smiles. Can I hold your hand the entire way? Zach nods. Go do your thing. I'll find you later.
See you soon then.
Good. Get out of here. He turns down another path.
Let's go.
All right, let's go. And I'm going to end the episode here. We're going to explore what I'm assuming is Raven's Pass next time. As always, if you did enjoy the video, make sure to let me know by hitting the like button down below or leaving a comment. If you're new to the channel, unleash your power by hitting the subscribe button today as well, and I will see all you heroes in the next video. Thanks so much for watching. May the Force be with you, and have a great rest of your day. Take care.